Hello everyone, it's Larica here. Today I want to do a book tag. It's called 101 Days of Summer, and it's a summer book tag. I was tagged by Candy from the Great Literary Rabbit Hole. I think the tag, I have a name here, was started by Dwanay from the Reading Room 1972. So this tag is all about summer, and it has about 9 questions. So thanks Candy for tagging me. I'm gonna give this one a go. The first question, or the first item, is called BBQ Time, and pick a favorite author. They are inviting you to a barbecue to announce their new work. What do you hope they are announcing, and what are you bringing to share? So, barbecue. I'm from South Africa, and we have something called a braai, which is like a religion. Everybody can braai in South Africa. So you make a fire and you put the meat on, and we have special things that we put on there. So I had to bring Deon Meyer, who is a South African crime novelist. I absolutely love his books. And so I would love to have a barbecue with Deon Meyer. You might know some of his books. This one's quite a famous one, Trackers, with one of his characters called Lemmer. He writes in Afrikaans, but all his books basically are translated into English. I have this book on my to-read list for July, which is called Fever. Very interesting apocalyptic style of a book where there was something wiped out most of the population, and then this father and son has to survive in South Africa in that survival book. And then I have Cobra and The Blood Safari. Most of his books are from this character called Benny Griesel. He's a detective in the South African Special Police, the Hawks. He has a partner called Vince. Oh, how do I not know his name? Vaughan. His name is Vaughan. But anyway, so they solve crimes. But there is one character that's only been one book written of, and his name is Zet van Heerden, or Zapotek van Heerden. And I really love that character, but he's only written one book of his. So I would ask Deon Meyer, when is he going to write another Z book? Or Zep, I don't know what his short is for his name, because that is my favorite character. Anyway, I love Deon Meyer, and what I would bring is, we have something called braaibroodjies at the barbecues that we make. So it's like toasted bread. Braai is barbecued bread. So you take 2 slices of bread, put some butter on, slice some onions, nice and thin, some tomatoes and some cheese, put them together, tie a little string around them so they can be together, right? And then you put them on the coals on the grill, just for like literally half a minute or so, not long. And they get a bit charcoaly at the edge. It's just like grilled sandwich with a flavor of the fire. So that's what I will bring. I will bring the braaibroodjies. So next is a road trip. Let's see. Pick a real world setting from a recent or not so recent read. Where would that road trip take you? It wasn't much of a thing, because And one of my favorite books of all time, I talked about this before, is Patti Smith's Just Kids. And I think I would do a road trip to a city, New York City. And I would love to go and see all these places, like Chelsea Hotel and all these places that she and Robert explored in the early days of New York. Now, of course it won't be the same, but in my dreams I would like to go back in time and do a trip through New York City the way it was when Patti Smith first arrived there. There were just the bookshops she saw, the places she ate, all those places. I've been to New York once, but that was before I discovered Patti Smith, so I would love to do that. Then I have this thing for maps. Absolutely love maps, and I discovered this online shop. It's based actually in Sweden, which I didn't know, in Stockholm, this store, and they sell literary maps, which is fantastic. And so they have these maps. It's not really expensive, and I will write the name below because I can't remember it. And this one, I only bought this first maps about a couple of weeks ago, and it was so good that I bought a whole bunch more. So I have this Mrs. Dalloway Virginia Woolf map. And it says, Mrs. Dalloway said she would buy the flowers herself. So begins Virginia Woolf's beloved novel from 1925, but where does she buy her flowers? This illustrated map shows the locations from the book in order of appearance in the text. It also includes the route taken by 8 of the main characters. So, really lovely. It has this list here, and then it has the map. So, that was that one. Then I have The Wonderful Adventures of Niels Map, the Niels Holgersson story, and the little boy that flew on the goose across Sweden. And I just got Mary Shelley's Frankenstein map, Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre, and Bram Stoker's Dracula map. So, I really love these maps. They're really good. I will link them below so that you can have a look if you're interested. So that would be my road trip, would be to New York. It's a city trip, but, I have to get there, right? So road trip. Camping is number 3. Do you rough it? Say tent and sleeping bag? Or do you require amenities? Will you read more than usual? Camping is very interesting because I grew up again in South Africa, and we went hiking when I was in my early teens. Just a group of friends, and was maybe 1 adult, 2 adults, and we just went wild camping. Like, we didn't even have tents because this was like the early 80s, right? So they didn't have the really good equipment like today. Everything is so light. So we had to take our own backpacks, carry our own food and sleeping bag. And those were pretty heavy. We didn't even really we had this little sail thing that you put underneath the bag, sleeping bag, just so that you don't sleep on the wet ground. And we would go down into ravines, down into where the rivers are, and then just sleep next to the river out in the open. I remember when Halley's Comet came, I think it was in the 80s, right? Halley's Comet, and we climbed this mountain. I have no idea how I got up that mountain because it was quite dark at night by the time we got there. And the next morning we looked down, it was just like, I don't know how I got up there. Anyway, we slept in a cave, and it was pretty amazing. But we didn't see the comet because it was cloudy that night. But we went on an amazing trip. And then we went on, we also went, this one was the best of all. It's a place called Gründau, and it has these small lakes and a river and whatnot. And you had to cross through the lakes to get to the other side. You couldn't go around because it's got these cliffs. And so we had this big tractor tire, the inside, and that was blown up that we carried with us. And then you put it on the water with some sticks over planks, and then you put all the backpacks on top of it, and then you swim through the water to the other side so that your bags can stay dry. And then, all those kind of. So I really went full on camping when I was younger. But I don't do that so much today, is not so much anymore. And I really didn't read more at those times. I actually read nothing because you had to pack survival in your backpack. Honestly, there was no space for a book. I'm sorry, you could say, oh, I'll never leave a book behind. But trust me, when you are 14 years old and you have to carry everything you have on your back, a book you cannot. But we told stories around the campfire at night. Loads of stories. So that made up for not having the book. Number 4 is called festivals. You're attending a Booktube festival where dressing as one of your favorite literary characters is the only requirement. Who do you go dressed as and why? A Booktube festival, let's see. I am not big on festivals. I like markets. We have this lady that is becoming a celebrity in Skåne and in Sweden. She is a friend of mine, Linda. She's a witch, and she has a place called Häxans hus, which is the witch's house, in Skåne. It's not a farm, but it's like outside of a town. Have some land and a house, and then she has a store in there, a shop, as well as a temple that they build and a small place where you can rent to stay, almost like an Airbnb type of thing with bunk beds and a kitchen and a bathroom and a nice deck. It's lovely, lovely. And every year she has different events, and one of these events is in the summer, which is called the summer market. And I go there every year, and I have a stand there where I do tarot card readings for people. So that's kind of the only festival that I would go to. I'm not big on those. But if I had to go to a Booktube festival, I would dress as the witch in the Highland Witch in Susan Fletcher's novel, Corag, because Corag is the most amazing person. She is always sees the good in everything. She's such a kind, gentle, joyful soul, even though she had such a tough life. So I would dress as a Highland Witch. I think I would love that. So yeah, festivals. Slice of life. What is something others may consider simple or mundane, but is something you can't see a summer without? Well, for me, it would be sitting outside and reading a book under a tree or under a parasol, a little canopy on the balcony where we live now. So I would definitely sit out there and just read my book. That's for me. That is what summer is for me. Sitting, reading outside. Scary story, number 6. Which author would you invite to go camping with you, knowing you would want to hear the scariest story they can tell around the campfire? Well, I immediately, when I saw that question, had one author in mind, and that is Bram Stoker, Dracula. I think because even though Dracula was scary, he had a proper story. It wasn't just a scary story, right? It was such a well thought out scary story. So I think it would be a super cool conversation sitting around a fire with Dracula for a scary story. Then first love or summer crush is number 7. A romantic interest during the summer months often leads to a bittersweet ending or a lasting impact. Which do you prefer to read? How does the age of the characters affect this opinion? That was hard because I think I like both. I like sometimes a sad ending because life is not always good. And I sometimes like a happy ending because that makes me feel there's hope in the world. So I don't really have a preference, I must say. I like both sad and happy. And I like nostalgic endings as well. That's like somewhere in between. You're not 100% sure, did they end up together or did they not? It's like that kind of thing. When you feel like it's like the beginning of something for them and you're not sure how it's going to turn out. I like that as well. The possibilities. Then nostalgia. What book or books imbibe you with overwhelming sense of nostalgia? They don't necessarily have to take place during the summer, but provide a strong attachment to summer somehow. Oh man, I thought about this one, and there is one author that I don't have her books at all. She's an Afrikaans author, but it takes me back to the summers of my youth when I was young, and my parents always took us with a caravan camping by the sea in the summer. And the books that I read during that time was written by an author called Mathieu, Afrikaans author, and she wrote these books called Filasekund and Kringenebos. And these books have been translated into English. She's no longer with us. It's called Circles in the Forest and Filasekund. And they were the most beautiful, beautiful books. I think I read them so many times because good Afrikaans books weren't often in those days that easy to. It was very much love stories or just, different styles of books. So these two books for me meant so much to me. It took place in an area outside of Knysna down by the coast. And it followed it was about these, I don't know, what do you call, somebody that cuts trees down, those people, I don't know the word for it in English, houtkappers, and they, and the tough lives they had. It's a novel, but it's based on what really happened at that time. There was all these amazing forests and trees outside Knysna, and they would cut them down and try as a job trying to survive and how difficult their lives were. It was beautiful, just such beautiful books. So I was thinking when I thought of that, when I saw this nostalgia, I thought, I'm going to try and get those two books of Dali and Mathieu again, because just to have them in my library and read them again, because they're so, so beautiful. So the last one is Summer Stories. What is a book or books you would recommend where the summertime is the primary focus? Now, I have been thinking about that, and I don't know really. I think maybe this book has got a lot of summer in it, and I was thinking this Fever book, just because of the cover. I haven't read it, so it's on my to-read list. Maybe this one. But then I remembered I got this book few weeks ago, actually. It's called The Literary Almanac, A Year of Seasonal Reading by Francesca Bowman. And it's such a cool little book because it takes every month of the year and it highlights like what books work for that month that you can read. And of course it's Northern Hemisphere focused, right? So if I look in July and June, let's see, July feels much more summery, right? Getting more into summer. She has books like Scott Fitzgerald's The Side of Paradise. So this is probably a good book to investigate for summer stories, because I never think of whether a book takes place in summer or winter or fall. So that's interesting, right? Maybe I will start looking at that a little bit more. I just read a book and I like it or not. And the last is don't forget to tag your Booktube friends. So yeah, if you watch this and you want to do this, feel free. Consider yourself tagged. Yeah, thank you for watching, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.